I do want to get your take on some of his responses, though, because when the economy was brought up, and one of his first responses, Biden invoked Afghanistan. And Afghanistan is probably one of the most contentious points of his presidency because of that chaotic withdrawal with 13 U.S. service members dying. Trump pounced on that. Biden also had a question about abortion, and he botched that response. And abortion should be a layup for Democrats. That's one of the issues where they're stronger on. So, what do you make of the substance of his responses as well?
Well, what Joe Biden, uh, what were his strong points? What's his party's strong points? Obviously, abortion or reproductive rights, whatever you want to call it. Um, a second, surprisingly, he's actually not ahead, according to polling, on defense of democracy, but he is ahead on what people thought of January 6th uh, and Trump not conceding the last election, really. And Trump managed to squirm out of that. Trump never answered that question, but Biden didn't really effectively press it. And that was a consistent theme. He didn't get out his points very well, and he didn't press his opponent very well. The third thing is that he's trying to say that the economy is doing well. But according to polling, voters don't think so, even though we're in nearly full employment. But the real problem is that real wages went down compared to very high inflation. Uh, uh, Nominal wages didn't keep up with it. So voters don't think they can afford the rent or to buy a house. Uh, they can see what's happening at the grocery store and so forth. And Biden had to reassure voters on that, and I don't think he managed to do that. But again, I don't think, and I think conversely, Trump pressed all of his major issues: crime, immigration, control of the border, the usual. I'm going to cut taxes, Joe's going to raise them. Joe raised the traditional Democratic point, it's just a tax cut for the rich. I don't think that plays anymore very well. And the reason I don't, Brittany, is that Trump has transformed the party. It's no longer George H.W. Bush's party. It's a populist party.
What's interesting is this morning, as everyone's talking about the debate, no one is talking about policy today. They're not talking about what Joe Biden said, they're talking about how he said it. And if you turn on any network, if you look at any paper, the question of that's being floated is Biden going to be replaced before the DNC? What do you think?
Well, it's just guesswork. But let me explain what the problems are. The problems are, first, he's an incumbent president who has won the primaries. He has the votes. Secondly, there's no coherent party structure. It's not like years ago when you could get the leaders of the party in a smoke-filled room and they could make some decisions. They're the ones in Chicago in 1944 who picked Harry Truman as the vice president, knowing that President Roosevelt was unlikely to make it through a next term. So there's nothing like that. If he doesn't want to move out, I think the only person who can tell him it's just not going to work is Barack Obama. But notice that Barack Obama apparently didn't do that when he could have and should have months and months ago. Or if he did, Joe just told him, "Buzz off. I'm not moving." The next problem is that the number two person would naturally want to move up, Kamala Harris. Well, the Democrats have played identity politics as their principal card for years and years. Identity politics and wealth transfers and a big state that will do everything for you. That's their platform. And they're caught now because if they replace a black woman as the nominee of the party, even if they'd done that months ago, if they replace her, and it's not a fair fight election, it's not a nomination fight in which voters make that choice, they're going to have a huge problem with the black vote, especially black women. And it's not that those black women are going to vote for Trump, they're just going to stay home.